Hi, Wendy.
I met up with them at the Dakota Tavern in Toronto.
Take one.
There
Take
you
one.
go.
Here we go. Robbie, so nice to meet you.
It's very nice to meet you.
So your mom was Indigenous, so you spent a lot of time on an Indian reserve, not too far from Toronto. What sort of impact did that have on you as a storyteller and a musician?
Well, it was the genesis of music for me and storytelling. It seemed to me that on the reserve, that everybody played an instrument or sang or danced and contributed to the local entertainment. And at some point I said, I want to get in on this club. And it was the first time in my life that I heard music, you know, like this close, where I could hear the sound of the fingers and someone singing and the breathing. And, you know, it knocked my socks off. And when it was over, I said to my mom, when I grow up, I hope I can tell stories like that. And, you know, like moms do, she said, oh, I'm sure you will. You know?
But you did.
Yeah.
I read somewhere that your mom said to you, always be proud that you're Indian, but...
Be careful who you tell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was her growing up. She was told, it's no advantage. Your heritage is no advantage. And they don't like you, and they don't want you. And so she was hurt by that. And it was tough. And it's still tough. We see what's going on at Standing Rock in this, and it's like, when is it going to be over? That they're just going to be stepping on these people, you know? And when I was a kid, I got to a place where I was saying, you know, one of these days I'm going to go and do this, and I'm going to go out there and do that. And everybody was like, that doesn't happen for people like us. Don't set yourself up for, you know, heartbreak. And I was like, I don't understand what's wrong with you. You know, I got a dream, you know. I'm going to do stuff. I have to.
You're quite the storyteller, and now you've written the story of your life. You write about how your best friend, Levon Helm, in the band. Your book seems almost to be a love story in a way to him, because he kind of denounced you, but you still love him, obviously.
Yeah, I don't care about his thing. He got very ill, and if that happened to me, I might have got bitter too. I don't know, but Levon was fantastic, an incredible person, an incredible music person, and we had some of the best times anybody could ever have. And that's that. You know, what ended up happening for him when he got cancer and he hit some hard times and everything, you know, he said some stuff, and I thought, he can't help it. I mean, it's not that it didn't, you know, hurt me a little bit to hear, well, like, what? He's saying I didn't write that song or something. He was there when I wrote that song, you know. But it, you know, it doesn't matter.
You're in your 70s now?
Yeah.
A lot of 70-year-olds, Mick Jagger and so on, they're still out performing, still out touring. What do you think of that whole phenomena, all these sort of old guys still on tour?
Well, it's pretty great that they can and that they do and that people still want to see a man who's 73 years old shaking his butt, you know. It's not for me, but, you know, God bless.
Tell me about meeting Bob Dylan.
What would you like to know? Well,
you described the first time that you met him, that it was quickly clear to you that this was no longer a folkie, that there was a new species emerging. So you sort of caught him at a moment of real, almost
transition
revolution.
or something, yeah. When we hooked up with Bob Dylan, we didn't have a clear understanding of what this job was. We just thought it was music. Maybe this could be interesting. We're not really folkies. We don't really know that stuff. He wants to lean in our direction. Cool. So when we got on this train and went there with him, it was kind of like, holy moly, people really don't want this. Now, somebody ordinary would say, oh, the people don't want this? All right, well then let's change and we'll do something that they want. Well, Bob is not that, he's not cut from that cloth. And I was astonished that he never took a step back.
People were yelling, Judas.
People were yelling a lot more than Judas, I'll tell you, and throwing stuff and charging the stage. It was violent.
That must have been hard.
We thought, well, maybe it'll just go away, and it just got worse. It got worse, and in the middle there, I realized we were in a musical revolution, and that they were wrong, and we were right.
What was it like to watch Bob Dylan write his songs? How did he do it?
He wrote the words, and he wrote it on a typewriter. To see this guy ding, ding, like for hours, and what really surprised me is that he could do this. The TV would be on, somebody would be talking on the telephone, and the radio would be playing in the next room, you know, and none of it, he could, you know, he could concentrate. And he'd take it and he'd sit down with a guitar and he'd see what those words implied musically. And it just became like a flower growing or something. It blossomed.
Dylan has been awarded the Nobel Prize.
I've heard.
Yeah, what'd you think of that?
I don't care.
What do you think of them announcing him for that? I was wondering whether it was sort of they were trying to be cool.
Oh, I think it's about time.
Yeah?
Yeah. What, he didn't write enough songs?
Leonard Cohen
Yeah.
meant so much to so many Canadians.
Yeah.
Well, not just Canadians.
Yeah.
What kind of, how great was he? Like,
Well, he was the only one. He was a unique, gifted person. And I don't know anybody else that could do what Leonard does. And I was with a friend in New York, and I said, you know, when I get back to Los Angeles, I'm going to call Leonard. I heard he's not feeling well. I want to go visit him. It's time that we catch up. We got things in our background, and it's going to be, you know, would be fun. And I'd like to just go pay him respect and everything. And my friend called me back 2 hours later and said, Leonard passed away. And I couldn't believe it, because I had just said this, that I'm going to go and see him. He can't pass away, I'm going to see him, right? And it was just heartbreaking to hear that.
And you want to travel with her, you want to travel blind, and you know she will find you, for you've touched her perfect body with your mind.
Joni Mitchell.
I think Joni Mitchell, to this day, is still unchallenged as the queen of the singer-songwriters. She's the one. I mean, I'd never seen anybody come along and take that crown away from her. She did something that nobody else has ever done. And I think that she's that special, and I love her dearly.
Music comes spilling out into the street. Colors go waltzing in time.
Robbie, thank you so much.
Thank you. This was fun. Thanks.
Yeah, really nice to talk to you.